I'm Anil Kumar. Now we'll discuss a test paper on application of quadratic equations. We have 5 questions here to discuss. I'd like you to pause the video, copy these questions, and then we are going to take them one by one. We'll learn very effective factoring techniques and apply them to solve. Sometimes you can also use quadratic formula to answer. Let's begin with the very first question, which is two numbers differ by 8 and the sum of their squares is 274. What are the numbers? So let the numbers be. So one could be x. Since they differ by 8, the other one should be x plus 8 or x minus 8. You could take either one of them, correct? Now it says that, and the sum of their squares is 274. That gives you the equation, that is x square plus x plus 8 whole square is equal to 274, correct? So we can just expand and simplify. We get x square plus x square plus 2ab, which is 16x, plus 8 square, which is 64, equals to 274. Bring them all together. 2x square plus 16x plus 64 minus 274 equals to 0. That gives you 2x square plus 16x. When you take away 64, we get negative 210 equals to 0. Now we can take 2 as a common factor and we get here x square plus 8x minus 105 equals to 0. Now we need to factor this. Now we need to look for factors of 105. Very effective way of factoring such things is that we begin by writing factors of, let's say, 105. So let's write down the factors. Definitely you can divide it by 5. So 5 times 2 and 1, and 21 goes 7 times 3. So these are the 3 numbers with which you have to play around. We have to get negative product. That means sum and difference, positive big number, and what we really need here is 8 as positive. So we are looking for product of, let me write product of 105 negative, and we are looking for sum of 8. So the two numbers which can give you that is what? So we can take 5 and 315 and 7. Do you see that part? So factoring helps. So my focus is not to just get the answer for you, but to tell you how do we get this number. So from here we get 2 times, we can now factor this as x plus bigger number, which is 15, okay, times x minus 7. Doesn't make sense, equals to 0. So the combination is x equals to minus 15 or x equals to 7. That says two numbers differ by 8 and the sum of their squares is this much. What are the numbers? Now we are not very sure whether we are interested in integers or what type of numbers are we interested in. Is that okay? So one of the solutions definitely is 7 and 15. The other one is also minus 7 and 15, right? If I take minus 15 as one of these combinations, then the other becomes minus 7. Now, sometimes we'll write integers here. So we are not very sure whether these are whole numbers or integers. So to be on safe side, we'll provide both the solutions. Is that clear? Let's move on and take second question now. The product of two consecutive even integers increased by their sum is 98. So when we say consecutive even integers, so what are consecutive even integers? So if I take x as 1, then the next one will be x plus 2. So even will be you have to skip 1. So that becomes the let statement. And now let's go with the equation. The product of two consecutive even integers increased by their sum. So the product will be x times x plus 2, that is the product. Increased by means add, their sum means x plus 2. Does it make sense? Is equal to 98. So that is how we are getting the equation. So that is their sum, right? And this is their product. So we have product and sum, and that is equal to 98. So it is important to understand the question and make the equation. Let's open the bracket. We get x squared plus 2x plus 2x plus 2 minus 98 equals to 0. So we have x squared plus 4x, and here we have minus 96 equals to 0. Now we need to again factor 96. So I'll adopt the same method. So we have 96. Now 96 could be divided by, let us say, let's do it in steps, 2 times 48. And 48 could be divided by, let's say, 6 and 8. Okay. We are looking, always these numbers will give you the product. We want 4. Negative means what we are looking for is one positive and one negative. Positive number is bigger. So we are looking for a product of minus 96 and sum of plus 4. Correct? So what combination can give you this? So that means if I take 6 times 2 as 12 and 8, it could work, right? So this combination is good combination. So what we get here is the numbers which are 6 and 2, which is 12, positive bigger. So we could write this as x plus 12 times x minus 8 equals to 0. Does it make sense to you? See how I factored. So I have two numbers whose product is minus 96. So the numbers are 12 and minus 8. When you add them, you get 4. Perfect. So that gives you the solution that x is equals to minus 12 or x is equals to plus 8. Now if I take minus 12 as one option, then the other number is going to be, you have to add 2, right? So you get minus 10. And if I take 8 as one number, in that case again I have to add 2. And if I get, so I get 12, 8 plus 2 as 10 as the other number. Correct? So that is how we get our answer. Product of two consecutive even integers, so 8 and 10, or minus 12 and minus 10, whose product will be, product plus sum will be 98. So that becomes our answer. So our answer is, one combination is minus 12 minus 10, and the other one is 8 and 10. Okay, let's move on and take the next example. Question number 3. An open box is made from a 10 centimeter by 20 centimeter piece of cardboard by cutting squares with side x centimeter from each corner and folding up the edges. The area of the resulting base is 96 centimeters square. What is the length of the side of the cutout square? So we can make a sketch to discuss. Okay, so let us say this is the cardboard box from which, from each corner, squares have been removed, x by x. So let's say this is x and that is also x. In that case, the width will get reduced by 2x and length also will get reduced by 2x. So we have this box whose area we have to find, right? I mean, it's given to us, which is 96 centimeters square. So the area is 10 minus 2x times 20 minus 2x is equal to 96. Now let's factor this out, be simpler. So we can take 2 as a common factor, we get 5 minus x. Again we can take 2 as a common factor, 10 minus x equals to 96. So that gives us 5 minus x times 10 minus x equals to 96 divided by 4, these two 2's. And now we can open. So 5 times 10 is 50. 5 times minus x, 5. Then we have minus 10x. Then we have minus x squared. And when you divide 96 by 4, 4 times 2 is 8, 16, 24 we get, right? 4 times 4. Bringing all terms together, just keep 0 here. We want to keep x squared as positive. That's the whole idea. We get x squared plus 5 and 10, 15x. We have plus 24 minus 50. And that gives us 0 equals to x squared plus 15x minus 26. Correct? So we get the quadratic equation. Now we have to solve. We are looking for a product of minus 26 and sum of 15, right? This, when we are saying P, we mean product. And S is sum, right? So how do you get these numbers? As we had been discussing, it is good to just write down the factors, right? We want 26 product. So what should you do? We'll just write 26 here and see what are the factors of 26. 2 times 13 gives you 26, and if we want positive here, in that case, okay, so this is negative, so that means we are multiplying, bigger number is negative and the smaller one is positive. So how do you factor this now? 26. We did a mistake here in the units. Minus and minus gives us positive. So our signs are the other way, right? So when I multiplied minus with minus, I should have got plus here. So we have all this. So we have wrong signs here. That is the problem, that we are not getting this factor correctly. So let me redo this part. Okay. So minus x times minus x is plus x squared. Rest is all okay. So we'll rearrange. So we'll keep x squared on the left side. So we have x squared, and we'll bring 24 to the left now. And we have minus 15x plus 50 minus 24 equals to 0. Now it makes sense. X squared minus 15x, and that is plus 26 equals to 0. So now it makes sense. Both the numbers could be negative. So when you add them, you get 15. So we get x minus 2 times x minus 13 to get 0. So that means x could be equal to 2 or x equals to 13. Now 13 is not a valid answer, since x has to be, because this should be positive, correct? So x has to be less than 5, correct? Otherwise this will be negative. So x is between 0 and 5. So that is not valid. Not valid. And what we get here is x equals to 2 as the correct answer. So our answer is x is equals to 2 units of centimeters. Perfect. So that is how you're going to solve this question. So except for this, minus and minus should have been positive. So that requires the adjustment. But I hope we got it right. So let's move on and get to question number 4, which is the perimeter of a right triangle is 120 centimeters. If the length of hypotenuse is 50 centimeters, find the length of other sides. So let's make a right triangle here. We are given that hypotenuse is 50 and let's say the sides are A and B. So perimeter is 120. So 120 is equals to 50 plus A plus B. So that means 120 minus 50 is A plus B. Correct? You could write one in terms of the other. So that is, we could write 70 minus B is equal to A. Correct. Now the relation in a right triangle always is A square plus B square is 50, right? So we could write A square plus B square equals to 50 square. Since we are writing A as 70 minus B, we can write this as 70 minus B whole square plus B square equals to 2500. So let's square this up. Square of 7 is 49, so we get 4900. Minus 2ab, that is 140b plus b square equals to 2500. So we get 2b square minus 140b plus 4900 minus 2500 equals to 0. So we have 2b square minus 140b, and that gives you, if you take away 25, we get 2400 equals to 0. We can divide by 2, so let's factor out 2. B square minus 70b plus 1200 is equal to 0. Correct? So that is what we get. Now to factor this, we need 70, 1200 is the product. So we're looking for product of 1200 and sum of minus 70. So the two numbers could be 12 is like 6 times 2, 4 times 3. So 4 times 3 work. So it could be 40 times 30. And if I take both negative numbers, then it works. So we could write this as b minus 40 times b minus 30 equals to 0. So that gives you possible length of B or A. B could be 40 or B could be 30. So clearly the dimensions are, we can say one of the sides is 30 centimeters and the other one is 40 centimeters. Perfect. So that is how you could answer this question. So in all these examples, we have seen that factoring using sum and product could be done, and then we could find the answer. Now we are almost at the end. Here is the last question, question number 5. A square lawn is surrounded by a flower bed 1.5 meter wide. If the area of the border equals the area of the lawn, what are the dimensions of the lawn? So we have this big square which is the flower bed surrounding the lawn. So let's say that is the lawn for us. Okay. Now each side is 1.5. Each side is 1.5. So if the lawn is, let us say, x by x, in that case the outer dimension is x plus 3 because 1.5 on each side, right? And all these sides are equal. So what we are given here is that the area of the flower bed, that is this area, is equal to the area of the inside lawn. Okay. So what is the area of the flower bed? Square of x plus 3 minus inside area, which is x square, and that is equal to inside area, which is x square. So I hope the equation is absolutely clear, right? So let's expand this. We get x square plus 2ab, which is 6x, plus 9 minus x square equals to x square. Now these two cancel. So we have 6x plus 9 equals to x square. Taking these terms to the right side gives us 0 equals to x square minus 6x minus 9. Now minus 9 and minus 6x, 9 is 3 times 3, we cannot really factor it. So now we can use the quadratic formula to find the answer. So we can say x is equal to minus of this, which is 6, plus minus square root of b square, which is 36, minus 4ac. So 4 times 9, 36. Because of negative, it becomes 36. Positive. Over 2a. Okay. So that gives you 6 plus minus 2 times 36, that is 6 square root 2 over 2, and the exact value will be 3 plus. Now we should take the positive value or negative value. Let's see. And because this is 3 square root 2, when you divide 3 square root 2. So obviously it cannot be negative value. We have to take positive. So the answer should be 3 plus 3 square root 2, right? Negative will make it negative. X has to be, we know x has to be greater than, from this condition, since 1.5 and 1.5, x has to be greater than 3. So that becomes the exact value. You can use calculator and find what is in decimals. So we have 3 plus 3 times square root 2, which is in decimals equals to 7.24. So which is approximately 7.24 meters. Right? So that is the approximate answer. So that is how you could actually do it. So as you can see, these 5 questions, most of them we could do with factoring. The last one, we could not factor, so we applied the quadratic formula. So these quadratic questions considered in the video are very important. Most of the time the pattern is kind of similar. So if you know how to solve them, you should be in a position to get good marks. I hope you liked and enjoyed this journey of learning. Feel free to write your comments and share your views. If you like and subscribe to my videos, that'd be great. Thanks for watching and all the best.